Nobody likes to play somebody who runs the ball all game. No, I'm really serious. Nobody likes to play somebody who runs the ball all game, unless you watch this video. What is up, guys? Dan from the Madden YouTube channel. And let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to show you guys today how to use coaching adjustments to improve your run defense. And this was something that I used last year to occasionally, on a certain down and distance, get my players into their gaps a little bit more quickly. This is also a great tip for picking off bubble screens, which we'll talk about a little bit as a bonus in this video as well. So anytime you're facing a run play and you're relying on your defense to get stops, the main rating that you're looking at is play recognition. Play recognition is a rating that is used throughout the game, but the most important area that you'll notice it is in the run game, because it is basically the timer that kicks in when a player recognizes that they need to, instead of cover their zone assignment, instead switch and go cover their run fit. So let's go ahead and take the field here without any coaching suggestions on. And I'm going to show you guys how to look at run fits, because I think this is something that is important. A lot of players don't know about this. So I'm going to call a stretch alert bubble here. To view your run fits on defense, you're going to hold down the left trigger. That would be L2 on PlayStation. Now, to see the run fit to the right, you'll press the B icon and hold it down. That will be circle on PlayStation. And you'll see that there are lines from each defender, and that is where their gap is if the ball is run to that given side. So as you can see right here, if the ball is run to the right, I need to take my linebacker user Brown and be responsible for the right B gap. If the ball is run to the left side, you press the X icon on Xbox, that would be square on PlayStation, and you would see right here that my run fit to the left is responsible for the left A gap. So this is basically your runs assignment, depending on which side they run the ball to. Now you also have a coverage assignment, and the coverage assignment in this is a hook curl. Well, naturally, if it is a pass play, my player is going to back up into that hook curl. Their play recognition will kick in, and the higher the rating is, the faster they'll get into their run fit. So this can be problematic when you have players that don't have high play recognition, because they're not going to get into the run fit. And that's the difference between a tight end maybe sealing your edge player that has the F icon over their head, or maybe that player getting the outside leverage and funneling the run back to the inside. So what we're going to do here is kind of show you here with this play. If I snap the ball, obviously we're running this stretch call and we're able to get to the outside, and we didn't get a block from our wing tight end right there, but we were able to get outside of the forced defender, which is what I was alluding to. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to run the exact same play, but I'm going to run it back to the other side now. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, what was the assignment of the player in coverage that did not play his force to keep that run to the inside? It was a purple zone. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my coaching adjustments by hitting the right stick in on the play call menu. And I'm going to go down to curl flats. And if I know that the run is coming, you know, 3rd down and 1, 4th down and 1, your opponent is only running the ball, you're going to go ahead and take that curl flat setting and you can set it to 0. So now we're going to call that exact same play here. And what this is going to tell my player to do is, hey, you are in the purple zone, you're going to play 0 yards. And then you're going to recognize your run fit to the left, and you are also going to be responsible for filling the run. So basically what we're saying is, hey, play your assignment as close to the line of scrimmage as possible, and you happen to be the guy that is responsible for keeping the run to the inside. So now when this ball is snapped on the offensive controller, we've got that guy setting a 0-yard area, and he's able to get that shed in the tackle at the line of scrimmage. This is something that I used all year long last year in Madden 21, and it also does a really, really good job of picking off bubble screens. So notice that I called a stretch alert bubble RPO on offense. Because I have that purple zone set to 0, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call a cover 3 defense that will then get a player to line up directly over the slot in his purple zone. And he is also going to be responsible for playing that 0-yard assignment. Now, here's where this goes a little bit further for you. Because it's an RPO, guys typically will respond and play their run fit. You saw that he kind of filled that backside lane right there. It didn't play the bubble. If you know that your opponent is going to throw that bubble screen, you're going to want to call a formation that is going to allow you to have a purple zone out there over the slot and also have a purple zone on the edge. So I'm going to call that 2-4-5 defense right here and run that against the same play. So now I can play a press alignment. I've got this purple zone set over the top of the slot receiver on the bubble. I've got this purple zone, which is going to fly down at 0 yards. And I'm actually going to pass commit. And I'm going to pass commit here to make sure that my purple zone on the backside stays home and is in a 0 yard assignment. So now what should happen is I'm going to click off of the linebacker here. If I'm one of those players that habitually just throws the bubble to the backside, you're throwing it right for a pick 6. So this is actually a benefit that can stop bubble RPOs as well as stretches at the same time, because even when you pass commit, the player on the stretch side is going to end up playing the edge. So as you can see, this has a double benefit because the player that is on the stretch side being pass committed is flying down at 0 yards. So if they do actually hand the ball off to that stretch call, he's going to be in a spot where he's got outside leverage on number 81. So you see right here that this player is flying down to a 0 yard depth. Meanwhile, on the backside, because we pass committed, our 0 yard purple zone was able to pick that off and run it all the way back to the end zone for a touchdown. Now, if you guys like this tip, make sure you guys take the time to hit that subscribe button here on the Zan Madden YouTube channel. I upload Monday through Friday in the late morning to early afternoon, breaking down tips that are going to help take your game to the next level. And if you want to go even deeper than that, I would recommend that you guys go check out my strategy site, gridirongameplans.gg. Every week on Gridiron Game Plans, we break down the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how to counter those metas when you face them. So head over to gridirongameplans.gg. Time is running out on our Madden 22 pre-sale. You can still unlock the entire website for the full year for just $75. This offer is running out very, very soon. You'll definitely want to hop in there in our Discord. We've had a lot of great discussion helping players get better at the game early on in the year. Also, make sure you guys check out my TikTok channel and my Twitch channel, both at Zan Madden, uploading daily and streaming daily on those platforms as well. Now, I also want to finish this off by breaking down that this isn't just an adjustment that you can use on outside runs with curl flats. This is also something that you can use with your interior hook defenders as well. So I'm going to come out in an ISO call out of the goal line, and I'm going to match this with the 4-4 cover 3, but I want to have my inside players play a little bit better. So I'm going to go into my coaching adjustments, and now instead of my purple zones being set to 0, I'm going to set my hooks to 0. And this is going to help aid with my short inside run defense, because my hook defenders are going to take their first step right at the line of scrimmage and then diagnose run and then be already headed in that direction to make that inside stop. So if I call a 4-4 split cover 3, you're going to see how this benefits us here on this play. So you can see here that if the run were to go to the right, Brown is responsible for the right A gap. If this run were to go to the left, you notice that Brown is responsible for the left A gap. Now, your run fits can also change based off of how you crash your defense. If I crash my defensive line up, go ahead and do that again here. If I crash them up, you'll notice that the run fits slightly change, and I'm now responsible on a left run fit for basically being in the left C gap, essentially, in this call. And if it were going to the right, I would have to be in the right A gap. Now, the other thing that you could do with this is take your safeties, and if they have a chance to be in a yellow zone, you could put them in a hook curl, which will play at 0 yards as well. So this will get this guy flying straight down towards the middle, which then allows you to kind of fill lanes accordingly. So on this ISO call, you notice that's going to the right. I'm technically responsible for that right B gap or right C gap. So I'm going to fly straight down, and you see how that safety is flying in right behind in that 0 yard assignment. And if it ends up being, you know, obviously a pass play, they are playing at 0 yards. So you need to be responding to that accordingly. One thing that you can honestly do, though, if you wanted to, is call that 4-4 defense and then go ahead and control that player because he's not in the run fit, and use those guys in front of you as basically shields because they're flying down at 0 yards, which is going to allow you to then fly in and make that tackle. So, you know, there's some user gap shooting tendencies that you can use to play off of this as well. I know that some of you are going to have a question about what to do in the event that your opponent audibles out or does something kind of crazy that all of a sudden you don't want to be in 0 yard settings. So let's say for whatever reason you're in a cover 3 defense and your opponent all of a sudden shows that they want to pass. Maybe they audible out into something, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I know they're passing. There are two different ways that you can get out of your 0-yard settings, because if they snap the ball right here, I'm going to have Brown and I'm going to have Evans as 0-yard defenders. So basically they're only going to defend drags. So you don't want that. So what you can do is protect the sticks by hitting Y or triangle on PlayStation, and then L1 if you're on PlayStation, LB if you're on Xbox, and that will tell everybody to protect the sticks. And then that will, what that will end up allowing you to do is basically play your hook curls at regular depth as if they were protecting the sticks. So now if I click off here, you'll notice that they aren't going to play 0-yard depth. They'll play traditional depth, and then that's going to allow you to play accordingly. Now, the other way that you guys will want to basically reset your zone depths is to reset your play. So I'm going to go in and set my zones on hooks to 0 here, and I'll be in big nickel over G. And let's say for whatever reason, all of a sudden we think I don't want to be in 0 yards anymore. All you have to do is hit X and then reset your play. That's hitting L trigger, and that will reset the play. And no longer will that be the case where your hook curl defenders will be at 0 yards. They'll end up playing their traditional depth, as you see right there. And then obviously they have to play their zones accordingly. They can still be beat, but at least they won't be stuck at the line of scrimmage. So there you guys have it. That is how you guys can use coaching adjustments to help your run defense. I know that a lot of you have been saying that run defense is difficult. I totally agree with you. For the record, the movement being different on next gen is a big thing to be prepared for. So I totally understand that, you know, it's going to take a while to get used to, but this tip from last year is actually really, really useful. I used it situationally. I faced those stretch RPOs or inside zone bubble RPOs. I did a lot of the 0-yard settings and pass committing just to get those guys down at 0 yards, because by the time they recognize the run anyways, they're already headed in that direction. So they're headed to 0 yards, and then once the play recognition kicks in, they're like, oh, it's actually a run, we were wrong. They're actually already in the right spot. So, you know, it's a great adjustment. I hope this helps you guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, drop those below. Make sure you guys subscribe here to the YouTube channel. Again, uploading Monday through Friday, trying to help you guys with your game. And if you guys want a little bit more, go check out gridirongameplans.gg. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.